It's been raining for days. I've read every single book in my backpack already. May, don't you have any books I can read?
No, sorry, Max.
You know, I read a book about all the experiences of different trainers not too long ago. Nurse Joy probably has it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good, I think. Pikachu! Hey, Nurse Joy?
Yes, Max?
Nurse Joy, Ash said he read this book all about the experiences of different trainers. Do you have something that sounds like that?
That sounds familiar. Let me go look for it, Max.
Thanks, Nurse Joy.
No problem.
Hey, Ash?
Yeah?
So tell me more about this book. I can't wait to read it.
It's just, I really liked it because, I don't know, it was good.
What do you mean good? Was it exciting? Did it have a lot of action?
Why don't you just read it yourself, Max?
I will, but I can't wait. Why can't Ash just tell me about the book?
I don't know. I don't know where to begin to tell you about it, I guess. I'm just a Pokémon trainer, not a book reviewer.
Hey, why don't we call Lex? He reads a lot.
You're right. Maybe he'll know what you can say when you're telling someone about a book.
Pika!
Hey, Lex. Hope you're not too busy.
Nah, just working on a new song. How are you doing, May?
It's raining here, so we're just kind of hanging out. Max wants to check out a new book, so Ash suggested one that he read about the experiences of different trainers.
Yeah, but he can't really tell me about it.
Well, I don't know what to say. It was good.
At first, it wasn't always easy for me to figure out what to say about books either, but I learned some strategies to help me out. Now, whenever I have to talk about something I read, I know just what to say.
That's why we called you. So what do you do?
First, when I know I'm going to talk about a book I'm reading, I take notes.
Notes? That sounds like a lot of work.
Actually, it helps make it easier. Let's say you have a question about something you read in the book. You can jot down the question so you'll remember it later. Here, take a look at some notes I took for a book I just read, Simca in the City. Other times, I'll just write down things that I thought were interesting, good or bad, that I might want to talk about. And finally, sometimes I'll write down a quote or a word that I thought was unusual or especially good.
Wow, those are a lot of notes.
There's a trick you can use to make note-taking easier. Use sticky notes to mark the places in the book you have questions about or want to talk about.
Oh, that's kind of fun. Then you know exactly where to go and what you thought.
And that's just one strategy. Another thing you can do is to think about how you can relate your own personal experiences to the book you've read. When I was reading Simca in the City, I thought about how I've had to race against time and really think on my feet. Sounds like a crazy adventure version of my everyday to me.
Yeah, but I've never had an experience exactly like that.
Maybe not, but you are a Pokémon trainer. You've had to travel around just like Simca, so you can think about how the characters' experiences are like experiences you've had.
I guess you're right. Still, even with notes and stuff, it's hard to talk about all those things sometimes.
Sure it is. That's where the third strategy comes in. Whenever I talk about a book, I have a list of conversation prompts nearby.
Conversation prompts?
They're a list of sentence starters to help me talk about what I'm thinking. For example, a conversation prompt might be, I really like the part when...
I get it. How about this reminds me of...
Exactly. Check out this list of conversation prompts.
Those starters could really make talking about books easier. Then you can think of something more specific.
They definitely help. Do you want to practice?
Sure. Here's a story about a trainer named Logan. I'm loading it up into the Poképilot right now.
First, let's review the 3 strategies. Take notes when you read, think about how the book relates to your personal experiences, and use conversation prompts.
Why don't we practice together? Let's read a passage first, then we'll talk about it.
Read the passage. As you read, drag the sticky notes to mark sections you want to remember.
The angry swarm of Beedrill charged at Logan. They buzzed so loudly the leaves in the trees trembled. Hundreds of sharp stingers gleamed in the sunlight, all aimed in one direction, Logan's. He ran and ran until the muscles in his legs felt like they were on fire. There had to be a way to escape. Up ahead, Logan saw the sparkling waters of a large lake. He'd have to make a decision fast. Logan skidded to a stop on the shore of the lake, his heart pounding. He turned to face the Beedrill. He had 3 Pokémon with him. Maybe he could battle them. But as the swarm grew closer, Logan realized any attempt to fight them would be futile. There were just too many. There was only one thing he could do. With a great leap, he plunged into the water. Logan's body seemed to turn to ice as the chilly water surrounded him. Luckily, he was a good swimmer. The splashing seemed to discourage the Beedrill, and the buzzing sound began to fade. Logan slowed down about halfway to shore. He was safe. He could finally relax. Then the water around him began to churn. A huge blue tail emerged from the water, blocking Logan's path. Logan knew that the creature that owned the tail must be even more massive. Panic overcame him as he realized what it was. "A Gyarados!" Logan screamed. Okay, so I used some conversation prompts to make up some comments about the passage. How about you do the same?
Pick one comment to come up with your own review of the passage. Click on one option to finish this prompt. I really liked it when...
Oh yeah, I was on the edge of my seat reading that scene. Oh yeah, that was a real plot twist, just when Logan thought he was safe. Really? Yeah, sometimes I don't like the stories I read either, but there's usually something new to find out in them.
Click on one option to finish this prompt. What if...
Awesome! I never thought of that. I wonder what Logan would have done. Awesome! Can you imagine an underwater Beedrill attack? Awesome! Guess that's a reason to keep reading.
Click on one option to finish this prompt. I was confused when...
Good question.
Marking down the words you don't know is a great way to learn new vocabulary. Futile means useless or not successful.
Beedrill won't go in the water because it can't swim with its wings. It would rather just keep on flying. Good question. Great. Sounds like you're really following the action of the story.
Click on one option to finish this sentence. This reminds me of...
Yeah, I know. It makes me itchy just thinking about it. Yeah, I know. It's amazing how you can feel your muscles when you run. Nice one! Really? Well, maybe you'll be in a similar situation someday, but I hope not. It's pretty intense being chased by stingers. Awesome review. Here's what I thought. I really liked it when Logan jumped in the lake, because I thought it was a smart thing to do. But it would have been interesting to see what would happen if Logan had to battle the Beedrill instead. I've been chased by Beedrill a couple of times before. I was pretty nervous.
Well, sounds like you did a great job with your review.
Thanks, Lex. I think I'll have a lot to say next time someone asks me about a book.
Here, Max. I found it.
All right, I can't wait to read it.
Well, get to it.
Thanks again for all your help.
Anytime. See you later. Are you ready for a challenge of your own? Let's do it. Use your mouse to drag the right notes into the backpack. Which of these is a strategy for sharing and reflecting on a book you've read? Drag and drop it into the backpack. Way to go! Which of these is a tip to help you take notes? Drag and drop it into the backpack. Perfect! Which of these is a conversation prompt? Drag and drop it into the backpack. Awesome! Which of these is a strategy for sharing and reflecting on a book you've read? Drag and drop it into the backpack. Way to go! Which of these is an example of the kind of notes you can take when you're reading? Drag and drop it into the backpack. Way to go! Which of these is a conversation prompt? Drag and drop it into the backpack. Way to go! All right, now I think you're ready to discuss the haunted cabin with me. Let's take a look at it together first. Read the passage along with me. Then we can talk about it together. Thump. The loud noise woke Jack up from his sleep. He opened his eyes. Thump. A cold chill crept over Jack's body. The strange sound was definitely coming from somewhere inside the cabin. He wanted to crawl back under the covers, but something compelled him to climb out of bed. He had to know what that sound was. Jack fumbled for the light switch on the lamp. The bulb sparked on, then flickered out. Just great, Jack muttered. He had been afraid of the dark ever since he was a little kid. Thump! Jack nearly jumped out of his pajamas. The sound was closer now. He took a deep breath. His heart pounding, he walked across the room and opened the door. Let's talk about the passage now. After I talk, click your response on the screen. Ready? I like this book because I like scary stories. Really? Well, it would be interesting to see how this one turns out, don't you think? This scene reminded me of one time when I heard a noise at night. It really scared me, but it was just a branch tapping against the window. Oh yeah? I didn't know that about you. I really felt for Jack because I used to be afraid of the dark too. I see what you're saying. I really wanted to know what was making that thumping noise. It was pretty suspenseful. All right. It was interesting comparing notes with you. You're a great reading partner. Let's do it again soon. For now, I gotta go pick out a new book to read. Later!
He ran and ran until the muscles in his legs felt like they were on fire. Logan skidded to a stop on the shore of the lake, his heart pounding. He turned to face the Beedrill. The angry swarm of Beedrill charged at Logan. They buzzed so loudly the leaves in the trees trembled.
Try again. Look again. Really? Well, it would be interesting to see how this one turns out, don't you think? Oh yeah? I didn't know that about you. I see what you're saying.